Welcome into today's broadcast right here at Cog Hill Farm. Now, Peaches wouldn't let Nugget into the house for this episode, so here's Jason, Brooke, and our chicken master, Marycarl.
What is up, everybody? It's another episode of the Cogcast podcast. This is episode, 48. I think it's 48.
Don't ask me.
I got confused now since they've been kind of erratic.
That's a good way to describe it.
It's been quite the adventure.
It has. I think we've done one since you were sick.
Yes, this will be the second one since I've been sick.
And if y'all are not able to see, he's better.
I am better. I am way, way better than I was. Yesterday would have been 2 weeks when I first had my symptoms.
14 days was yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, Sunday will be 2 weeks that he's been on antibiotics. 14
That's correct.
days of antibiotics.
And that will be my last day of antibiotics.
That's right. So
we're getting there.
A lot of improvement.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just, for lack of a better way to describe it, I am just so thankful that we had sense enough to go on and have it seen about.
I'm going to correct that.
Okay. Go on.
You had sense enough.
Oh, no.
Not me. I'm telling you, if it would have been me, I'd have been stubborn and said, it's just a bite. I don't need to go to the doctor.
Well, I will tell y'all this, that Jason was at the camper and I was at home because we thought it was a virus that was contagious.
Exactly.
And so we literally couldn't, well, I don't mean afford monetarily, but we couldn't afford physically to both be down at the same time. And so he stayed at the camper to prevent Marycarl and I from getting infected from something that he had that was contagious.
Yep.
So he had been there, let's see, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday is when you actually noticed the bite.
Yeah, it was Sunday when I noticed the bite, and you were like, we need to go to the doctor.
Yeah, as soon as he sent me a picture of it, it's not the bite that concerned me. It was his illness and then noticing that there was something that could be the culprit.
Yep. And we officially, if you did not catch the last vlog, our last video on our main channel, we officially got an official diagnosis as to what I had.
Yes, finally, after many calls, I finally found out that the diagnosis is Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever.
That is it. And, it took a long time, but I'm actually wondering if it's not because of COVID. I really, if COVID would because they sent the test off, and it would just seem like it took a long time for the results to come back. And another thing that's odd is that my doctor said as soon as they find out what it is, and if it is Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, the state or the CDC is going to call you ASAP.
That's right.
And we haven't got a call.
No, I put the call in to find out the official diagnosis.
Yeah.
They didn't call us. I called, I would say 5 times.
Yeah, I think so.
5 times. And finally, after the 5th call, I received a return call with the diagnosis. And, thank goodness he was on antibiotics all that time. And I'm not trying to knock the medical field. I know that they're busy and things are going on, but thank goodness he was being treated during that time.
Yeah, that's right.
Because had we waited for the diagnosis before we started treatment,
it'd have been a week and a half
you'd
later.
be in ICU.
Yeah, it would. I'd have been pretty sick. But thankfully they started me on the right stuff, and we are on the up. I would say the only symptom I have left right now is the tiredness, and I have gone 2 days, maybe out of the last 4, where I didn't take a nap those days.
Yeah, and it's not like you were pushing yourself extremely to get away from the nap. It was just like your body was saying, as long as you get enough rest tonight, then we're going to call that nap, a no-go for today.
Because
that's kind of the way I looked at it.
I think so, too. And in the days that I didn't take a nap, like yesterday, I think I went to bed fairly early and I woke up fairly late, so I got like over 10 hours of sleep. So
that would account for the nap hours that you were getting in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thankful that things are turning around, and that you have listen to the ladies and
Yes.
been taking care of yourself.
I have been taking it easy. I've been taking care of myself. I even had some of my friends like Chad at Adler Farm, and I think Dutch even. They all said the same thing, and maybe even Wes at Naked Hog. They all said the same thing, dude. If you can take some naps and rest, take advantage of it.
Well, the good thing
So I have.
is and there again, I'm not knocking other wives, and
Right.
I'm not tooting my own horn by saying I help a lot, but thank goodness I knew how to take care of things.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for you. Marycarl stepped up too. I'm grateful for her. And
But there's so many farms where the man handles everything, and if
Yeah.
something happens, then they're at a loss as to what to do because nobody else knows how to take care of it.
that's true too. That's true.
So, with you working a full-time job, I was taking care of things then.
Right. So you kind of had an idea
Yeah,
what to do anyways.
Well, I knew what to do, and so we're just back to where we were before then, and I've been handling things.
You have been handling things, no doubt, and I mean everything.
As a matter of fact, Marycarl and I took care of everything this morning, and Jason was perfectly capable of going down there, but there was no need. I mean, as long as we can take care of it, then his body needs to rest and not overdo it.
Yeah.
We've recorded a couple of videos with him feeding in it, but he's not overdoing it. He's kind of supervising, and
Plus, the sun is super bright this morning, and I'm
It
still
is.
everybody that I know that knows what they're talking about has told me to be extremely careful when it comes to the sun while I'm on doxycycline.
well, it's just like it's
So-
amplified times 10,000. And as a teenager, having a lot of sinus infections and things, I would play a lot of sports and be on antibiotics, and I can tell you it's not your friend when it comes to sun.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. I saw the sun out this morning, and I had some things that I had to do on the business side of Cog Hill too, so I took care of.
That's good because Miss Cog Hill can't take care of that. I can feed this farm and I can run a tractor, but I can't do computer work.
So I handled that this morning, so I got a lot of that done. I do want to say this though. If any of y'all, and especially men, don't be stubborn and hard headed. If you have a bite and can see it, and start feeling sick,
Or if you have a tick that
Yes.
you've had on you and start feeling sick.
please do not be hard headed and stubborn and hesitate.
Don't think your body's going to take care of it because that
Yes.
bacteria is very overpowering and it can take care of you in just a little bit.
Time can be your friend or time can be your enemy in this situation because we've got several people that we know and we're friends with that either didn't know or they waited too late and they have long-term effects because of it. And my doctor, in the way I feel now, seems to think pretty much that I'm done. That once I'm done, that I shouldn't have any long-term effects.
But we're also not an advocate for going out and getting antibiotics for viruses and things
No,
that you
not
don't
at
need
all.
it for. So that's not what we're trying to say. We're saying if you know that you have been bitten by something or if you've had a tick on you and you start to feel ill by having headaches or a little bit of a
Just
low-grade
go
fever,
to your doctor.
it's not going to hurt.
Yeah, just
It's not
go to
gonna
your
hurt.
doctor, because I just
You catch
from
it
my
early
experience, we caught it early, and which was awesome. I mean, I don't know how much longer. I don't know what the time period is. I got the starting feeling bad on Thursday, so it was Friday, Saturday, and then Sundays when we went to the doctor and
But
started
here's
antibiotics.
the
So it's
thing.
2.5 days, or I guess you could say 3 days if you want to count half a day Sunday.
Here's the thing. That was from when you found the bite was that Sunday. We don't know how long it had been that tick
No,
had
but I
been
started
off of you.
That's true, but I started feeling bad on Thursday evening.
Had
So,
he seen the tick
yeah,
prior to this,
I probably would have went quicker.
you would have went quicker.
Yeah, I
But
would've went quicker.
there was no tick attached. It was
Right.
just the place where the tick had been. And I felt like from looking at it, it was a tick, but I wasn't 100% sure. All I knew is that it didn't look good. It was right there where a lymph node was
Yeah.
swollen, and he was sick. So, not being proactive would have not been our best friend in that instance. To go and have that bite checked out to just say, hey, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm sick and I got a
bite.
I got a bite right
Yep.
here. So
Yeah, I just if anything comes out of that is that maybe in the future we can help somebody else if this situation arises.
And not to say we hadn't had ticks on us in the past, because
Yeah.
we have. We live in the South.
Just never gotten sick.
Yeah, we've had ticks on us. We use precautionary measures to make sure that we don't have ticks on us. But that doesn't mean ticks aren't going to get in places where you're not sprayed and you're not
Right.
protected.
Well,
just like under your armpit.
That's correct.
You were not protected in that area.
That's right. And then another thing my doctor stressed is for me not to live my life in fear because of this. For me to continue to do what I always done. We protected ourselves, just continue to do this. And because anything can happen, so long as you're proactive, continue to live your life. Don't be afraid to go outside. Don't be afraid to walk in grass. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. So he stressed that on me pretty good. And I think I'm not. I think I'm okay.
I'm kind of grinning to myself because Marycarl, after we found out the diagnosis, Marycarl and I were, having a little conversation, and she said, Mama, she said, you know what this means, don't you? And I said, what? She said, Daddy's going to be scared to go outside from now on. Because he's going to be scared he's going to get a tick.
Yeah.
And I said, Marycarl, I don't know about that. And, it was on her mind because, of course, when something makes you that ill, then you have to, have some fear of what it's capable of doing. But that fear does not have to overpower your life. Just be, and we check ourselves.
Yeah, we do.
Upon coming inside from being outside, ever since Marycarl was little, I mean, before she takes a bath, I look her over and I make sure there's not a visible bug in a place that she can't see or feel.
Correct.
And we've always done that. But,
always.
There's sometimes they're so tiny and they're so small that you don't see them until they start itching and you realize, there's something on you. But I say just because you have one on you, don't rush out and, feel like you got to have antibiotics. Don't fear it.
Yes.
Just, put that in your mind. Maybe put it in a little baggie, put it in the freezer.
Yeah, that's what they say to do. If you do find one, take it off, put it in a bag, put it in the freezer.
And that way,
just
if you
case.
do get sick, then they can test the tick itself.
Yeah, I think that may be a quicker test. I don't know why they tell us to do that.
I don't know, but that is something that we have done in the past.
Yeah, we have done that.
We've put ticks in a bag and put them in the freezer and never been sick until now. So. Hopefully this is our last battle with them. However, if it's not, we'll take what we're dealt with.
Correct. And keep
on
living.
We're not going to dwell on that. It's
No.
just, that's just the facts. We face different trials and tribulations every day in our life. And if we were dwelling on one particular one of them, our life would be no fun.
Correct. I agree. I absolutely agree.
So, on top of the tick bite, of course, we had the people from Seattle come down and look at our house and confirm that they, do want to purchase the farm. So we had that one big thing happen. And then we had another big thing happen, and that was that we met with another builder.
We wet.
We didn't wet anything. We've had enough rain to where we don't have to wet anything.
The sun's coming through. I got the windows open. You can see it in the back too. But it's supposed to rain today.
Well,
anyways, the sun is out this morning. We have not seen this much sun in over a month. Well,
usually when you go out first thing in the morning and you go to feed and the sun is out, it amplifies the temperature that much more. And it makes you just pour sweat and you're just miserable because of the humidity. But this morning, I was so thankful to wear my sunglasses and to tell that sunshine, thank you. I don't know where you've been, but thank you for making your appearance, even if it is for just a little bit.
Right.
We will get back to those sunny days, and it'll probably be sooner than later. And then we're going to say, wish it would rain.
Wish it would rain.
Wish it would rain. So, you can't always satisfy everyone, but we have had a lot of rain.
We have had a lot of rain. So much so that I've been down and out for 2 weeks. The garden looks absolutely horrible because of all the rain. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was mine.
I cut mine off, but it's still...
Was that on your watch?
Yeah.
The garden looks terrible. But I will say this about the garden. Even
flowers
though
are beautiful.
the flowers are beautiful, and we got peppers galore, and we got cherry and grape
It affected his speech, I do believe.
galore. My brain's faster than my mouth. So we got a lot of that, and I have, especially since I've been sick, I just think that's a good way of healing myself. I have been eating so much of that garden. And matter of fact, Marycarl's been helping me. She'll go down there and pick me a whole bunch of stuff too.
Yeah,
when I don't feel like it.
We've had some things to take care of, such as getting boxes and such as that. And there's times when Marycarl and Jason will be here by themselves, and I will be doing something else that, getting feed, whatever. And she has really helped him out by picking things from the garden to make a salad with, and picking tomatoes to make a sandwich with, and vegetables for us to cook with. So that's been, even though it doesn't look the prettiest.
Yeah, the weeds have completely taken over.
It's been very bountiful. I mean, we're just. It
has.
I do feel like this is going to be our last planting ever in that garden.
I do feel that too. I know it. Let's see here. This is July, August.
Almost August.
So August is when you really, especially in Zone 8. If you're in 9, you need to be thinking about it now. But in Zone 8 here in the South, August is when you need to start thinking about your fall garden. I know it's a little ways out, but not too far, because if you're going to start seedlings, they're going to take about 6 to 8 weeks. In general, we plant for the fall in October. Mid to late October is when we start planting for the fall. So you have to start timing that stuff out, and now's the time to start thinking about it.
Need to order your seeds and have those available, because if you planted them August the 1st and it took 8 weeks, you're at October already.
That is correct. And as you always know, we're Host Seeds we absolutely love, and Host is a huge sponsor for us and has helped us out in so many ways. And we will put a link to Host down below and our promo code. And we're supposed to be switching our promo code up. Instead of getting a summer vegetable seed for free, we're going to get you a fall one. I think we're going to do collard greens. And if I get all that straightened out before this podcast is out, I'll put all that down below.
That's a big if.
It should be, though, because I've talked to Wes about it, and he said it shouldn't be that big a deal. So,
well, at least you'll have the link there. So if you want to order something, you might not get that free pack of fall seeds, but you will be able to use our promo code, which does help us out with a small commission.
Yes.
And you'll get those wonderful seeds that have a high germination rate.
Yeah, the Host seeds are awesome.
They
awesome.
test those things, and it's not like you're buying from a big box store.
No.
You're not going in there with not knowing how old they are. Everything is tested. Everything is, germination rate has been proven. So it's a win-win situation when you buy from a trusted company.
That's right.
Versus your big box stores that you have no affiliation with.
I do think I may plant a little something, and I think it's just going to be, I think I may do some collard greens.
Here?
No.
Oh, I was going to say,
No.
Miss Donna's going to appreciate that. I don't think we're going to be here to reap those benefits.
I think I'm just going to do some collard greens and maybe some lettuces, and we can grow them in the green stalk.
Well, that means that we have one more thing to think about, and that is to think about what kind of seeds we need to get on order, because if that's the case, then we got to be prepared also.
We have to be prepared also, and we'll let you guys know what we're going to do and when, because it's going to be soon. You really do need to think about it, especially, guys, listen, if you're in Zone 8 or any zone, really, but especially 8, because we're going to start ordering our stuff first. And a lot of stuff that sells out quickly is first come, first serve, and that's going to be potatoes and elephant garlic. Those things seem to go very, very fast. So be on the lookout for those particular items, and if they become available, you jump on them, because those things sell out quickly. Now, with potatoes and elephant garlic, typically if you order them, you're not going to get them until they're ready to ship out, because you don't want to get them too early and you don't want to get them too late.
Yeah, but that your order's in, and your end is done. Just you're dependent on somebody else to ship it at that point, and that's a good way to be proactive. Also, you're ahead of the game, and to be ahead is always beneficial.
Right.
So if it's in your budget to go ahead and do that, then you might want to
just be looking out for it, because I don't know if the orders are open yet for those. but it's going to be coming up fairly soon. So be on the lookout for that. And as soon as I know that the orders are open for potatoes and elephant garlic, I'll let everybody know as well.
And that's a good thing, is that you can go ahead and order now, and you don't have to, it won't be shipped now.
No.
But you can order now, and then they'll have it shipped to you when the time is right. For you. Or
correct.
For them. Whatever.
Whatever.
Out first.
That's right.
But it's hard to think about fall crops when it's,
It is when it's 100 degrees outside.
It is. I mean, it's hard to think about that, but if you don't and you wait until the temperatures have dropped, then you're going to be running to the store thinking, I can just stick these in the ground and they're going to come. Well, it doesn't work like that.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that you can start from seed, and you got to be 6 to 8 weeks out.
Yeah,
so
you got to start thinking ahead.
You got to start thinking ahead, and
I'm sure there's some direct sow things too. But if you're thinking about planting a garden that you want to be bountiful, then you're going to have to do both direct seeding and starting seeding.
Yes, because direct seeding, there's a lot of things you can direct seed, but
carrots being one of them.
I'm trying to think what I direct seed in the fall. And matter of fact, fall, we can actually grow more varieties of stuff
in the fall here than we can in the summer.
Than we can in the summer and
Plus,
spring.
I guess it's because our summers are so hot, and your vegetables have to be extremely, usually, drought tolerant.
Yeah.
As well as, I mean, we have a watering system here, but you still have to be able to battle that heat and the sun.
Right.
When the fall comes, you're in a more normal climate, I guess.
And we have such mild winters here, and we overwinter carrots. Means we grow them in late October, and we don't harvest them until early the mid spring.
Yeah, I was going to say April. I think that's when we did it this year.
And then we do the same with garlic, and we do the same with onions. So those things we won't even harvest until next year.
Our garden for this past winter was more.
It was bountiful.
It just provided us more food than our summer garden, and people just think of gardening as being a summertime, pastime, a hobby, whatever you consider it, a summertime ability to provide food for your family, and that's not the case.
Right.
Not here anyway.
Yeah.
There are some zones where you can't, but
right.
I see people in Alaska that are planting fall gardens, and it just depends on your climate.
It just depends on your climate. Absolutely, just depends on your climate and what you can and can't grow in those climates.
And Halls breaks that down for you.
They can do that for you. If you go to their website, they got a thing in there that kind of helps you decide what you can and can't grow.
And if you know your zone, if you don't know your zone, I'm sure you can Google it and find out. Yeah. And if you know your zone, you plug that in, and it's going to tell you the things that would be good for you to grow in your particular climate.
Right.
And that's one thing we did wrong early on. And that's why I'm kind of against buying from the big box stores. Because when, say, a big box store gets in tomatoes, just for an example, those tomatoes are going to be tomatoes for all over the country. They're not going to be particular for our zone. Tomatoes is not a good example.
Yeah, tomatoes not a good example.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Collards, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Collards are grown across the country, and there's collards that would live during snow.
Yeah.
And then there's collards that are heat tolerant.
Yeah, and a lot of your greens are like that.
So you need to know your zone and know what's right for your area.
There's carrots like that. There's a lot of lettuces like that. A lot of your greens are really, really like that.
But don't you think that's where people go wrong a lot of times?
That's where I went wrong a lot. Well, I did it with onions. Onions are really, really bad. You really have to know your zone and your onions because you got long day, short day, and midday onions.
Right.
And you got some that are heat tolerant and some that are not heat tolerant. Garlic. We have a hard time growing true garlic here, and that's why we grow elephant garlic because it doesn't get cold enough, which is crazy. Because garlic needs so many days of super cold temperatures, and we don't have that. So that's why we can grow elephant garlic, which technically is not a garlic, it's a leek.
But it tastes just like garlic.
It tastes like garlic, looks like garlic, grows like garlic, but it's not a garlic, it's a leek.
But I guarantee you when you go to I'll just use this for an example, Tractor Supply, and you buy seeds or you buy onions, then you're getting those same seeds or those same onions in Alabama that you would get in New York.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And you don't know how old they are.
Yeah, so. Just it just makes a difference to put your money where you feel your best luck is going to be, for lack of a better way to say it.
And even Wes from the Naked Hog, earlier this year, when during the growing season just begun, he did a video on germination rates, and he took, seed from Hoss, and then I think he got some from Baker Creek, and he got some from Johnny's, and then he got some from the big box store. Of course, the big box store seeds were the worst germination rate. Wasn't even close. I mean, they were horrible. But he did a video on that.
So why throw your money away?
Yeah, why throw your money away?
When it's proven that these have a higher germination rate, when it's proven that this is going to grow well in your climate, then it's worth it to go in and you might pay a little bit more up front, but you're going to get a return from it.
And plus with Hoss, they put their germination rate on every single pack because they're tested all the time.
Yeah, some people think, they got 50% off seeds here. Well, it's of zero value to you if they don't come up.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'm just, I just feel like we learned the hard way over time, and that's a bit of advice that we can firsthand pass on that worked for us. Just being zone specific on your planning.
Yes. Do your research. Because each area is different, and once you figure it out, it's night and day difference. Your garden will be night and day difference.
Well, it's almost going to be like, I wasn't a gardener last year, but I'm a gardener this year.
Yeah.
That's the mentality you'll have, because you'll have a productive garden if you do it that way.
That's right.
Versus a non-productive garden, possibly, if you do it the other way. And you spend all your time and your effort, it's not going to be worth it for you to even worry about a few extra dollars to buy from a reputable company. To see the benefits.
That's right.
Because you've put so much time and effort into it.
So hopefully we can have a little small garden in our transition.
We'll see. I'm
see.
not too worried about it. We've got so many farmers in the area that produce crops pretty much year round, and we have the ability to go over and put money in the little honest system. And,
yes, we do.
We could buy it 9:00 at night and not think anything about it. So
that's going to be great.
But I do, in the future, that's our goal, is to produce for ourselves, but it may not happen this year.
And I will say this too, since I've been sick and since visiting our friend Tracy at Just Dig It Farm and looking at her kitchen garden, I'm not going to say the other word.
Don't get me started.
Looking at her beautiful kitchen garden and her concept, and me going in more. I mean, I've started looking at videos and pictures and reading about it. The more and more that one big change we're going to do is that, not saying I'm going to have a smaller garden. I'm not saying that per se, but I'm going to have for us, a strictly kitchen style garden for the majority of our food.
To where we can walk out our door and the food will be there.
It's going to be very, very close to the house. Extremely. I mean, our garden now is, semi-close to the house. It's not like it's a long ways away, but I noticed myself here, I went and picked tomatoes, day before yesterday, and
we don't have the side-by-side here, so
I don't count the steps, but it is a hill.
It is a hill.
But hers is like
right there,
20 foot.
Oh, it makes all the difference in the world when you can walk out into your front yard versus having to walk down a hill. And then, I don't know, it's not being lazy. It's just the fact that it's right in front of you and it's easier to care for.
So I'm leaning towards doing a kitchen style garden, and instead of having, 3 40-foot rows of tomatoes, which we got now, having 5 tomato plants.
Yeah, and them being, one of our favorite here, one of our favorite here, and just, concentrating on what we will eat as a family versus what will the community eat. That will be in another area.
Yeah. So
if we decide
to go that route, but that's where I'm really, really looking to start focusing my gardening is to have, actually, even though we built that big garden area, that now we're thinking about could possibly be just strictly flowers.
Yeah, because there's not that many people over there that focus their energy on flowers. Everything's vegetable and fruit focused.
Yes.
And if we could do something a little outside the box, it might open up, an area for us to provide the community with something that's not offered.
And Marycarl is very, very passionate about flowers. And I've gotten really, really excited and started reading a ton. And I've gotten more passionate about flowers. And just the thought of her being involved and being a part of it really, really makes me happy. And I would like to lean towards that. Even though now, she will, when we start gardening, she loves doing the seeds. She loves, that kind of stuff, and helps me plant them in the garden. But once they get planted a little bit, she kind of fades away a little bit.
And I think that may be because she's not reaping the benefits from it. She doesn't eat tomatoes, so therefore, it's not in her interest to see the fruit from it. If you plant a flower and you see the bloom or you reap the benefits from it. You see what becomes of that. And that could put a smile on somebody's face, and just you're able to physically utilize that. I don't know.
Well, it just makes you happy.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Just makes you happy.
I just thought of something, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I thought of it, and I thought now was a good time to bring it up.
Okay.
There have been so many comments on the podcast and on the videos that they're so thankful that Jason's found his glasses.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't found his glasses.
I was going to bring that up, and I just kind of forgot. I'm glad you did.
Well, I looked into your glare of your glasses.
I lost both pair.
Yep.
I found my old ones. We still have not found my new ones whatsoever. So much to the point that I think they're completely gone. I'm never going to get them back. That I'm going to have to start looking again at possibly getting some more glasses.
He's had these glasses for 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And they have been misplaced numerous times. However, they've always been found.
Yes.
He had the new glasses, which was awesome because he had this old pair and then he had the new pair. And he has had them approximately 2 weeks, and they went missing in action and have yet to be found.
So
we know where he probably had them last.
I do, yeah.
And that was when we rented the truck to go get the camper.
Yes.
I called the rental truck place, and they looked in their lost and found to say, nope, we don't have a description that meets that.
Yes.
So we've been talking about it, and we've been racking our brains trying to figure out where they could be and what we did last. And the only thing we can come up with is they were in that truck. And so I called back this week and talked to a different guy and told him, could you please, I didn't tell him I'd called previously. Yes. I just said, could you please check your lost and found? Because we believe this way be where they were last, where we last left them. He said, yes, ma'am. I'll look for them. What's your phone number? And I hadn't heard back. So maybe I need to give them a call and just double check again. But I have a feeling they're gone for good.
I got a feeling they're gone for good. If they're not in that rental truck.
Well, they're not going to be in the rental truck. They might be in the rental truck's lost and found.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I didn't leave them there, it may be a year or two from now, and we're like, oh, there's my glasses.
Yeah, your prescription might have changed by then.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
We did check into we talked about it, and I said I was going to order those little things to go on your items.
But they're so big.
Made by Apple, and they make one that's called a tag.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I was looking at. And it said that a big box store had one in stock, and we were planning on looking at it. But visibly, it looks like it's way too big to go on a pair of glasses.
Yeah, I thought maybe hanging them on the strap, because I always have straps on my glasses. I usually take them off for the podcast because they get in the way, but
Nugget would end up swallowing that tag, and then we would always know where Nugget was. Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, God.
It could happen. And I have even thought about Nugget having taken your glasses off somewhere.
And dropped them off.
But we know we were at the 40 when they came up missing. We
were, because if we go back, we'll watch the video, and I had my glasses on when we were in the rental truck, and that's the last we've seen them.
But we did go to the 40 and unhook the camper that night. It was dark. There was a storm coming. We were moving fast. They could be anywhere.
They could. And
they may not be in that rental truck.
I've looked all there, because, that's when the plug wasn't right.
Yeah.
I've looked on top of the panel boxes. I've looked everywhere, and I haven't found them.
That's okay. Things happen. I bet you one thing.
What's
that? I bet he'll be more careful with this next new pair.
We say that. Couldn't find my sunglasses yesterday.
I knew right where they were, didn't I?
You did. You said that they were in the truck hanging up, and I looked, and they wasn't hanging up. And I
well, that's because they were hanging up, and then I thought that might not be a good area for them, so I put them in the console. He just didn't look anywhere
I didn't
but
look in
hanging
the
up.
console, yeah.
He came back in and he said, "They're not in the truck." And I said, "Yes, they are." And he went on and he was continuing to look after I told him they were in the truck. I went out and I got the sunglasses out of the truck and I said, "Marycarl, tell your daddy the sunglasses are in the truck." And I heard her say, "Daddy, your sunglasses are in the truck." And I could hear him say, "I just looked."
I did.
They were in the truck. I had them in my hand.
Oh, well, I'm glad you knew where they were. Because I didn't.
I'm just glad I don't wear glasses because I can hardly keep up with my stuff as it is.
Oh, man, I'm the worst.
Well, a good little, a good tool to have is if you happen to have an Apple Watch. Yeah. They have a tool on here where you can find your phone.
Yeah, they do.
That's a pretty neat thing.
That is a pretty neat thing.
You can mash this button and it'll beep, 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 beep where your phone is.
Yeah.
So that I bought this watch used. I paid little or nothing for it, but it comes in handy, especially when Marycarl was in school and I was expecting a phone call.
Yeah.
Because she was ill or whatever. If I didn't have my phone right with me, my watch would vibrate and I would know that my phone was ringing and could answer it that way. But after I got it and paid little or nothing, like I said, because I bought it used, I said, Jason needs one of these because there's times when I try to reach him and he doesn't, or he's lost his phone. So looking at his watch, he would know I was sending him a text.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is he could find his phone.
Yeah.
And you see what he has on. Nothing.
I forget to put it on.
So you probably don't know where your phone is and you probably don't know where your watch is. But I tried to help.
I know my watch is. It's right here.
It's probably not charged.
It's not charged. That's the downside of
no,
these watches.
It's not the downside.
You have to charge them every day.
I have a little charger right beside my bed, and every evening when I charge my phone, I charge my watch. And it's charged every day, and it's just a routine.
Yeah.
It's just a routine. It makes it easy. Just a routine. Just like I tell you, let's try to put our things in the same place. Spot. And that doesn't happen. I find wallet on the coffee table, and I always take it back to that place where... So, there's got to be a keeper in the family.
And you're the keeper.
I try. I can't keep up with all of y'all, though. I mean, it's only two of y'all, but I can't keep up with all of y'all.
You do a good job, in my opinion.
I have to keep up with my mama, too, so that's even...
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's three.
That's three.
She came over yesterday and had came in here with a little package, and she said, "Have y'all seen that package that I brought in here?" And Jason's like, "I haven't seen any package." She's looking for the package that she had just left, and
did she find it?
I don't know if she did or not, but
I don't think she found it.
I thought to myself, I gotta look for the package my mama left now. Y'all need like a case of those tags that you can find your stuff.
We do.
Yeah. So, anyway, did I mention earlier that we went and met with a builder?
No.
I thought I did. I said we had a lot going on.
We did, but we got sidetracked on my glasses. Okay. And the gardening.
So back to that. Yeah. We've got a little bit to talk about that if you feel the need to spoil our...
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
This is going to give y'all... I always say that the... what are you looking for?
I'm looking for a pen so I can talk about writing the link.
There's a pen somewhere up here. I saw it earlier. Right there behind that computer.
Okay,
now I forgot what I was going to say.
The builder.
No, something else. Oh, you see these commercials sometimes, and they say it's mainly on the radio. Win it before you can buy it.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about? This is the podcast. You listen and you find out before you do on the video. It's kind of like your pre-insight.
No, actually, this is going to come out after that.
Oh, well, you don't win this before you buy it. You buy it and then you win it. Already did.
Okay.
He was reminding me of something, if you can believe that.
I just thought about it.
So we met with a builder during all this. That's what I was talking about.
I think we did say that.
Yeah, I think so.
We did.
So I was talking about the people from Seattle came, and then we also had plans to meet with a new builder that I found. I was actually watching the news early one morning, and they have a little segment where they interview these business owners and talk about their business, and I saw it there.
That's right.
And so I contacted them, and we didn't know when it was going to happen because of your illness.
Yes.
But the reason we wanted to meet with him is because this would be a all metal construction
Yes.
versus using wood for poles.
Yep. We've been discussing it. We wanted to build or want to build a pole barn house, or sometimes called barn-dominiums or post frame houses. And everyone we've looked at, everybody we talked to, was going to use wood poles. And then everything would be your structure. The wood poles would be your skeleton, and everything evolves around the wood poles. Hence the name pole barn house. But this company actually uses all steel.
Well, they can do it both ways.
Well, we didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, we didn't know. We thought it was all steel. That's why we wanted to meet with them.
All steel, which means the poles would be steel versus wood. And so we were, curious the price difference. And so we met with them, and come to find out they can do it both ways. They can actually do it 3 ways, which we haven't had anybody say they could do. Now, everybody we talked to says they bury the poles. And listen, I'm no carpenter. I've said that a million times. But in the back of my head, I just think over time, even though the wood is treated, that
it's going to rot.
At some point, it could cause an issue in the wood rot. Now, it may take 60 years for this to happen. I don't know.
That's what I was going to say. It may not be in our future, but it's inevitable that wood will rot. I don't care what happens. Wood is going to rot, and it's going to be maintenance for somebody.
So the pole barn builders I've seen on YouTube, almost every one of them, they're either in Texas or they're up north. That's it. And Texas is huge right now. Pole barn houses are just blowing up in Texas. And those guys do use wood beams or poles.
Yeah, not
but
beams.
They're above grade. They're off the ground.
They're on the slab.
Yeah, they'll make a little pillar a little bit higher than the slab, and the wood sits on that with a little connecting sleeve. And
therefore it's not exposed to the ground.
It's off the ground and not, doesn't have to worry about water. And it is still treated.
And the ground is what more so causes the rot.
Yes.
Being exposed to the elements, being exposed to water, being exposed to runoff. I mean, wood rots. And when exposed to the elements, it's going to happen.
And I think actually what causes the rot is not the water. It's going from water to dry, to dry.
Sure.
And that's what causes rot, because I didn't know this. I saw one of these shows where these people are pulling these logs that are hundreds of years old out of the water.
Uh-huh.
That were like
so
old
if
logging
they're wet
companies.
the whole time, then it doesn't matter.
If it stays submerged the whole time and no air ever hits it, then it doesn't rot.
But we aren't building underwater.
No, we're not building underwater. So that's been one of my biggest fears, is that eventually and it may be in our lifetime. I don't know.
I
so
just
I'm
don't want to
worried
have to deal
about.
with it.
I don't want to have to deal with it.
If we can avoid it, then we would like to. But we also want to weigh the cost.
Yes.
And so yesterday we went over and we met with them, and they were more than happy to provide the cost 3 ways.
They will do it the traditional way where you bury it. They would do it with the wood poles above grade, and they do it steel. So they got 3 ways they can do it.
They can price it.
Yes.
And then we also had options as far as the fasteners that are used.
Yes.
Over time, a screw that's used in metal that has a washer exposed, that washer is going to be exposed to sunlight, and it may deteriorate, and therefore, water could seep in depending on the pitch.
Yeah, depending on the pitch.
And then they offer a new type of fastener that's basically a little umbrella over the top of the washer that protects that. So, you won't have that deterioration.
Correct.
And then another one was called a standing seam. And he said it would not be cost effective on the building itself. However, it would be on the roof if it was in your budget, and we got him to price that. And basically what that is it's a seam that comes over the top of the other one and covers everything.
Covers everything up.
So there's nothing exposed, no fasteners, no way water can get in.
Yes.
It's there. And, I have a feeling that that's probably going to be out of our budget.
I think so too. I think that standing seam is fairly expensive, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Without pricing it, you don't know. I mean, we think what we think, but we may be pleasantly surprised. So
also, I will say this: we have we've drawn this thing out. We've talked to several contractors. We've changed our mind on the house design several times, and we've done it again. And so I'm glad we have, because throughout this period, I have done research, and a lot of research, and
Learned a
we've
lot.
learned a whole bunch. So I'm grateful that we didn't build it 3 months ago versus what we've done now. Not to say that we wouldn't be satisfied, because I think we would have been satisfied.
Yeah, I think we'd be satisfied. But it's just the fact of the matter is that we have learned more during this time that we have been given, I guess you would say, to think on things and, to know more about what is available and what we can do differently.
Yep.
So I feel like, that's a fortunate situation that it didn't happen so quickly. And then here's another thing. We have had a lot of people ask us, what's going on with the pond?
Yeah, what's going on with the pond? Well, getting back to the house is that
Let's don't forget about the pond,
Okay.
though, because people want to know.
Getting back to the house is that we were wanting a simple country style house, and we've kind of changed it. Still extremely simple. I think this house is even more simple.
Yes, it is. When they looked at it, they were just
build.
like, "Oh yeah,
Yes,
this is as easy as it gets."
It's pretty much just your standard house like this,
A-frame.
and it depends on what pitch the roof is, but it's just a standard looking pitch, like maybe a 6-on-12 or 8-on-12 at the most. I think we're gonna go about 6-on-12, but just your standard like that. But it looks like a barn, so it's gonna look like a barn, but the inside is gonna be a house, and that's kind of where we're leaning. We wanted that to start with, but then we went away from it, and now we're back to it, and I'm glad we have, because I really think we're gonna like it. Have the big, huge sliding barn doors on the front.
Not to where we will utilize them and close them all the time,
yeah.
but just for looks, just that barn look. That we're
Right.
just kind of country style folks, and we need that country look. We don't need anything elaborate. We just need, just a shelter and we like the open industrial look.
Yeah,
And the den and kitchen area.
Right.
So, being this way would allow the ceilings to be open, would allow everything to be exposed
Yes.
and our trusses visible. Some people don't like that, but that's our preference.
That's what we like, the open
That's what we
trusses.
like,
And we're
and
talking about putting the copas, whatever it's called, on the top.
Yeah,
To really make it look like a barn.
that's right.
And then a big side porch, the length of it.
And another thing is we have changed from initially we were going to build 2 houses.
Yes.
And the more time that has gone on, and this has been a good thing that happened too.
I agree.
We already had a septic tank, we already had power, and we already had water where our camper is now. So our initial plan was to build my mom a house over there. And she would be just a little bit of distance from us, not too far, but she wouldn't be right there with us.
Right.
Right now, she's right here with us. I mean, it separates a carport.
3-car carport.
So we have kind of changed that into building her place onto ours. However, we will both have our own private areas.
Yeah, we even talked about even putting a door in there.
Just making it completely private,
So
where you
it'd
have to
be
go
on
outside.
We're thinking probably on the back side with her screen porch on the back, and that would be her. It'd be a house, but it'd be attached, pretty much. So
it'd be all under
building.
one roof versus building 2 structures.
Yes.
Which would be probably more cost effective, probably better in the long run for her.
Yeah, I agree.
None of us are getting any younger, so we're all going to need some care at some point. Be easier for us
Right.
to take care of any needs she may have. And I think it's just better for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. So that's going to be more than likely that's going to happen too, versus the way we originally were wanting to do it.
So I'm glad we had time to think about that, because we've learned a lot over time as far as the value of 2 houses versus the value of 1 house. And, people have said building 2 houses may give Marycarl a place to live in the future. Who knows? Marycarl might not even want to be here.
Yeah.
Or want to be with us, once she's that age. We don't know.
Right.
And building a house just for consideration of somewhere for her to live when she gets older, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of too far in advance for us to see.
And it's not like, if she does, we can build her a house then. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
So,
That's right. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I agree.
If there was a house there and it was vacant, then we would have to keep that house up. We
Yep.
would have to keep it heated and cooled. If something happened to my mom and she wasn't living in there, we would have to maintain that place.
Right.
And things deteriorate when they're not used.
Exactly.
So we don't want a house in our future just sitting.
Yeah.
Heavens to Betsy. I mean, something happens to mom and
Yeah.
she's not able to be there anymore. Then we don't want an empty house.
Correct.
So that would be a way for us to have it right there, and we could tend to it and care for it. Okay, so back to the pond.
Back to the pond.
During Jason's sickness, we had been expecting a call from the man across the street that was going to dig for water to see if he hit anything.
Correct.
So he was basically waiting for rain because that would give him a slow down time in his normal job to where he could get over there and dig.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, rain has happened. So he's been able to come over and dig. And he sent me it was last Friday.
Yeah, it was.
He sent me a message and said, we're going to try to dig tomorrow. And I said, okay. Well, we weren't going to be there because Jason wasn't well enough and there was no reason for me to go over there and watch him dig. So I told him how to get in, and I told him to just let me know the results. Well, I didn't hear from him that afternoon, so I was thinking to myself that he must not have had a chance to dig. And so the next morning, I said, I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna ask him. And he said, basically, they didn't find what they were looking for.
Did not find any water, no signs of water. So that was bad news for us to some degree.
He dug about 40 yards, and that was ample area for him to see if there was water.
Yeah, and he was looking for a spring.
He was looking for a spring. Yeah.
But it's not over yet. We still have other options, and we can possibly get somebody to dig further down, basically dig a well per se, and hit water that way, or we can have water pumped in. But I don't think the pumping the water in I don't think that's a good option. I really, really don't.
Well, I did get back with him and I said, okay, so we didn't hit water. What would our options be as far as could we get water there? I said, first on my mind is a well or pumping it from the stream. And I said, what do you think would be our best option? And he said, well.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, because there is a stream back there. However, we really don't want to.
And it's a good ways away.
Yeah, it's not in a good location.
I just think it wouldn't be cost effective at all.
It wouldn't. We wouldn't be able to utilize it like we would like to.
Yeah,
we would like to have a visual. There's no way we could build a house where the stream is.
Right.
So we would like the pond to be where we could have a visual of it.
Yes.
From a porch of some sort. So he said to check into having a well dug, and then I asked him, well, if I had the well dug and I had that cost under my belt, what would the cost be then? And it was a lot more than what we anticipated.
Yeah, his price was a lot more we anticipated, but we're still not out. We're still going to look into it.
Yeah, we've got some options as far as, the Department of Soil and Conservation, they're all into preserving water.
Yes.
They want to be able to provide water for livestock and animals. And so that's an area that we're going to approach as far as what we could do in that area.
Yep.
And it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. The pond's not over yet.
It's not over yet, but it may not happen as soon as we thought it might.
Correct.
And then Piper's daddy, Ross, he does this for a living. And he's currently very tied up with his work.
He is very, very busy, but...
And they haven't even seen our property.
No.
That's how busy they
Yeah.
are. But he said he'll come down and he'll take a look once things slow down and give us some options. But I think we're pretty set on where we're going to build the house.
Yeah, I think we're kind of set. Yeah, you're right. We're set on where we're going to build the house unless something crazy changes.
We got some lights blinking.
I saw that. I think that one's connected to the internet, and I think that's the one that was blinking.
Regardless. Yeah, that's our plan is... I think we like the location. Of course, we would like to look out over a pond. And, if we do build a pond, I think that's where it'll be.
I do too.
It's not like it's an eyesore if we don't build a pond.
Exactly.
We can make it work. But we like that location. Or Portage, is that right?
I think it's
Potage?
Potage. I think that's right.
Garden.
Kitchen garden.
It'll be perfect in that area.
Yeah.
Off to the right a little bit where those
can.
blocks were.
Sure.
We just got, it's just perfect. The barn will be right back behind
Right
it.
there.
We've got enough area. It's raised up to where you can see the whole visual of the farm.
Yeah.
So I think we're a go on that.
Yeah, I think so
as far
too.
as where the house is going to
I
be
think
located.
so too. Only thing is that we just need to remeasure.
Yeah, we need to remeasure,
Yeah.
and then the
'Cause
builder.
I totally forgot.
The people that we spoke with yesterday about potentially building an all metal frame house, they're all for coming out and taking a look at our site.
Yeah.
And telling us, they said, there's no need to have an architect draw up a plan, that they've been doing it. What you waving at?
I'm going to try it.
Oh, there's no need to do that because they said that they have so much experience in what pitch goes with what, that they can just visually say, this is what pitch it needs to be, and this is what it, where it needs to go. So,
and I've decided that I'm going to try to draw the floor plan myself.
And if y'all didn't know this, Jason is an artist. He has been an artist since the day he was born. I can't draw a stick man, but he can sit here and he can doodle something and make it look like Van Gogh in just a matter of a minute or two.
Well, I've kind of forgotten, and I know you have, but I did your mom's floor plan.
Well,
remember we took all that to the architect, and he's the one that designed it all and made it official. But that floor plan over there that's all me.
Well, I don't remember it, but
yes.
Then again, I don't remember what I had for breakfast. So our plumber has already told us that he can work off of just a sketch.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to have anything.
That's the thing about the barn dominium. The main reason that a lot of times you have to have an architect for a normal house is because of load-bearing walls.
Exactly.
But with a barn dominium or a post-frame house,
you don't have that.
You don't have to worry about that because all the load is on the poles.
Yes, all on the poles.
So you don't have to worry about load-bearing walls.
So
it can be
wide
completely open. Yeah.
And that was one of our biggest assets to wanting to build a pole barn house.
Right.
Our house now is walled off, and it's I would love to have something more open.
Yeah.
And, when you live in something and you experience it, then you know what changes you'd like to make.
Right.
And I just like open concept, and that's what we're shooting for.
And I said that about the architect. Some of these real fancy houses that have all these pitches and all that.
You
have to have an
architect. You
got
to have an
but
architect.
For a simple
They said there's no
pitch,
need.
easy roof, you're talking. You don't.
They said all we need is a sketch.
Now, every metal company we have talked to,
It's the same way.
and contractor we talked to, all said the same thing. You don't need plans. You just need a sketch.
You just need a sketch.
Just bring us a picture.
Yeah, they said it can be a clipping out of a magazine, or as much if you want to draw it and say this is what I want.
Yeah.
So that's going to save us a lot.
The only thing we have to figure out is how many windows and doors we want.
Yeah, and that I've been so long with not having to worry about what we were going to do that now I'm like, oh no, we got to figure out where the windows.
I stayed up 2 hours last night after me and Marycarl watched TV, looking at plans just over and over and over and over and over and over, and they become very repetitive.
Yeah, sure. And another thing was on the pole barn house.
Yeah,
poles have to be set every. How many feet did he say?
I wrote it down.
Poles have to be set every so many feet. If you do metal, then it's a greater span.
I think it's every 20 foot if you do metal. If
poles
you do poles,
is 10, maybe?
is 12.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I
your
think that's
window
right.
placement would depend on that. So
yes.
you're more unlimited if you go with metal as far as window placement. So
yeah.
We're just going to have to
so.
see what the cost is.
I know that's right. 12 foot for wooden poles, 20 foot for the metal steel poles.
So that's where we stand. Is we want the metal. We want the metal.
We want the metal. We're just going to see if it's cost effective, but we want the metal. And I went ahead and ordered all my architect stuff that I need to. I bought the rulers and the graph paper.
If you need any plans drawn up, this is your man.
No, not at
he
all.
can do it. He's got plenty of time, and he's recovering.
Yeah.
So he can do your drawings for you. I'm just kidding. I can't spare him for a minute.
So I'm kind of excited for that to come in because I know what I want.
Well, as
and
long
I
as
haven't found a plan exactly like I want. I know what I want in my head.
every time I find something, I'm like, this is the perfect plan, Jason. Come look. He's like, you don't understand. This roof line will not work. And I'm just like, I give it up. I give it up because I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is I like this layout and it ain't going to work. So
I know exactly what I want in my head.
I'm turning it over to you.
It may take me a few weeks to get it on paper, but I know exactly what I want in my head.
It's not going to take you a few weeks. It's just going to,
draw it out.
Yeah, that's it. So we got y'all updated on the glasses. We got y'all updated on the pond. We got y'all updated on the house. On the Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever.
Yes.
And if there's anything else you'd like to know about Cog Hill Farm, feel free to send us some questions. And we haven't answered questions in a while, so maybe we could get a podcast in and answer some questions.
Yeah, I think so.
Or any advice y'all may have. But if you do put a question, end it with a question mark so we can search questions.
Yes, we can search for question marks. It makes it a lot easier for us.
It does. So in the meantime, just y'all watch for those pesky bugs out there.
Yes.
Don't let it overwhelm your life.
That's right.
And
we'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good.